Hey everybody, and welcome to this third video where we are going to continue working on the custom chair that we created in the previous two videos. So in case you haven't watched those, go ahead and check them out. In this one, we're actually going to continue with the unwrapping process for the low poly model. So far, what we have created is basically a low poly model and a high poly. What we're seeing here is the high poly model, and this thing here is a simplified version or the low poly. So for this, if we want to add in more textures later on in Unreal, we would like to have this thing unwrapped. Now, I will do the unwrapping here in 3ds Max, which I do want to stress is not my favorite way of doing it, but I want to show you guys how you can do it in Max so you don't have to go and use an external software for it. So let's begin. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to select my bottom here and go to the attach and attach all of these pieces into one element. So all of these are going to be just one model now. There we go, like this. So once we move it, we can see that they're all one. All right. So another very important thing is make sure you don't move anything. So basically, whatever is in the low poly, it's overlapping with the high poly model later on. All right, so once we have this, we can quickly go ahead and drop a UVW mapping clear. And on top of this, put an unwrap UVW. And once we open up the UV editor, we can see that now the entire chair hasn't been unwrapped, so we can start from scratch. Right, so first thing we're going to do is select everything and move it to the side, like so. And the easiest thing to get out of the way at the beginning of this thing would be to get the three cushions here. So just click on this thing, expand the selection to the entire thing, and quickly hit the quick peel button. This thing will peel off this and put it to the side. It really doesn't matter where it's at the moment. So again, you can either click this thing, quick peel, or you can just click it here. Again, move it to the side and quick peel it and back to the side. So for now, we won't really care about whether or not this thing has been rotated or anything. Just want to have it unwrapped. Now here's the thing. Once I have these three unwrapped, I want to hide them so they're not in the way of the underlying geometry. The easiest way to do this would be to go ahead and select it here, select the elements like this, and click on by clicking this button over here where it says hide selected, this thing will hide the elements that I have selected. So now I can continue working on the underlying geometry without actually having that thing in the way. So back to unwrap. I'm gonna go down and select this polygon here. Actually, no. I'm going to select this edge and this one over here and click on loop. It will loop it across the whole thing, and since, well, not that one, but the one below it, and since this thing goes around the whole thing, we can just now convert this to a seam. And we need to add in one extra seam at the back here. So convert this to a seam as well. And now what we can do is select the individual pieces, like the top one, open the UV editor again, hit the quick peel, and we have that thing peeled off. Do the same thing for the bottom. And now for the connecting geometry as well. So hit the expand polygon and click on peel. Now what is going to happen here is you're going to get the geometry looking like this. So it's not going to be a straight line. And in our case, we actually do want to have a straight line, because once this thing starts following the texture, we don't want to have skew in the texture. So what we can do here is simply click on one of these, just turn off the select element by UV toggle, select the top edge and double click. That is going to select the entire loop, and click on this little button over here where it says align horizontally to pivot. Click this, do the same thing on the bottom, and there we go. We got that connecting geometry to follow a straight line. Now what we want to do, again, like we did previously, go below, select this element and hit hide selected. With that, we have this thing out of the way as well. Following the same approach that we just did for the previous element, we can do the same exact thing to this here. And if you're noticing this overlying green line, that is not actually on this element, but that is the hidden geometry. Even though we can't see it, we can see the existing seams, as you can see over here. So don't worry about those. So again, loop, convert to an edge, find a hidden place like this one, and convert this thing to a seam. Double click until you get this thing here. There we go. UV editor, and do the same thing with the peel. Move it to the side. You don't have to do the rotation now, but you just, well, personally, it phases me, so I don't want to have it like so. So even though it's not important at the moment, I do prefer to do it that way. Right? Again, the same thing that we just did previously. Rotate around. Make sure it's like that. Double click on one of the top edges. Double click on the lower one, and we get that finished result like this. Again, go in below, select this thing and hide it. Hide selected. Go back to the unwrap, and for the third time in a row, do the same exact thing. It's a bit of a tedious thing, but well, you have to do it. There we go. Convert, select, peel, put it back to the side like so. Make you double or triple click until you actually select this thing. Otherwise, you're actually selecting the invisible geometry, and that is not what you need here. So again, select, and there we go. Click, and we get this thing unwrapped as well. So now go below, again, hide it so we know what we have done. So hit on hide. And let's proceed to this part here. This is not actually hard to do. All we got to do is go in here, select this piece, and not the piece, but the actual loop for our edge. That is going to give me that edge going across the whole thing. Do the same thing on the back side as well. So here and here. There we go. And loop it across like that. Make sure it goes over to the other side. There we go. Those two. That one. Loop. And now convert these into a seam. So what this is going to allow me to do is select this entire inner part. Quick peel. We get this straight line. Select this. Quick peel. Again, we get the bottom part. And even though they're the different size at the moment, don't worry about this thing. We will ramify this in the next step, when we're going to go ahead and apply the same textile density to all of the pieces. So for now, I just want to make sure that I have everything unwrapped. So now select the front face, select the back face, again do the same thing. There we go. That's cool. And with this, we actually have this entire bottom piece unwrapped. So same thing, select it and hide it. And what we are left with is the base of the chair and the connecting pieces. Now those are, again, easy to create or easy to unwrap. Select the bottom here, go down like so, loop, and that thing, if you have the geometry right, should go across the whole thing. We just want to add in 2 more cuts at the top here, like so. And now I do want to add in an extra cut over here. So one loop and cut, because I can probably get away without making that cut, but let's see. So by selecting this thing, it's going to go all over, and actually it might even work out nice, but we'll see. There we go, we have this thing, which is going to be one continuous piece, which is not bad, but we'll see how this thing is going to act up when we start, when we try to do the side of this. All right, again, this thing is good. And now we have this piece, which is a bit bigger, and it does have a swirl. So when we hit the quick peel, we can get, well, actually we can work with this result. So no need to cut it over there. There might be some deformation here, but we can deal with this easy. And with this, what we have left is, oh, this part over here individually, like so. And the last thing that we have to do is just unwrap the plates connecting the chair to the bottom. All right, let me just move this to the side, like so. Again, go in here, hide this thing. So hide selected. And what we are left with is only this piece over here, which is not going to be anything complex. We just need to select all of these edges, loop, like so. You do have to be careful here though, because there is the possibility you can select some invisible edge of the hidden geometry. So like here, you see, try to select this edge that I have. There we go. Here's a bit of a problem, but it's okay. All right, so I have all of these edges selected. Now I can convert them to a seam. So, and what I want to do is take this edge here and the one on the side and convert those to seams as well. So what this is going to allow me to do is select the back side of this plate, and with a simple quick peel, I get a straight line. It's not the perfect straight line, but this can work. Make sure we select this. Again, quick peel, move to the side, select the top, quick peel, rotate it around, and do the same thing for the bottom as well. Quick peel. There you go. So what this means is that I actually have this thing unwrapped, so I can just put it to the side. And what you're noticing is that I have all of my UV islands scattered across here, and nothing is actually inside the 0 to 1 space, which for now is not a problem, but we will fix that in a bit of, well, actually in the next step. So just want to do or repeat the same process that we just did for the top one, to this part. And actually I'm going to do this for this piece and the bottom one, and I'll be back with you guys as soon as I'm done with it. No point in you just like watching me do this thing all over again. All right, so I finished the unwrapping to the rest of these pieces. So what I want to do here now is go back to my element, and now since I've already hidden a bunch of elements, I want to go back to here and click on unhide all. That's going to show up, or actually show all of my elements. And now once I go to unwrap UVW and I open the UV editor, you're going to see that I have all of these elements scattered across here. Now the first thing that I want to do is make sure I select all of these polygons here. Zoom in, make sure everything is selected. And the first thing I want to do is hit on rescale element. What this thing is going to do is going to equalize the distribution or the texel density of all of these elements. So they're going to get the same scale. Clicking this like so. And now what I'm going to do is hit on pack custom. This is going to give me a result in which I'm gonna have everything within the 0 to 1 space, but it's not gonna be really optimized. If I want to do a sloppy job, I can leave it like this, or we can try to pack it better so we have more texture used up, which is something that we should always try to do, because more texel density that has been lost like here is more texture that you need to calculate, and it's going to be lost for nothing. So for now, I'm just going to move this to the side. And what I want to do here is I want to make sure that everything here has the right orientation. And what I mean by this is since this is wood, I want to make sure that the backside, or not wood, but you can be anything, but I want to make sure that the texture flows in the same or the correct position. The way to do this is very simple. Just add in a simple material to it and add a texture that's going to be, well, pretty much anything that's seamless. I'm going to try a wooden texture and see how that thing goes. I'm going to pull in an oak texture and make sure the show shaded material in viewport is ticked on. All right, awesome. So now that I can see how my texture is flowing, I'm actually happy with going it this way. I'm happy with how the flow is going for the back as well. All around is fine. The only thing that I might want to change is this part over here. Instead of going it upwards, I want to have this thing going sideways. So that would be very easy to fix. Go into the UV editor again, find the element here. So click on this thing. And instead of having this thing horizontal, make it just vertical. I'm gonna rotate this for 90 degrees, put it to the side, and there we go. Now we have this thing going to the side. And since we have this thing on a straight line, what you're going to notice is that as it takes the turn, the texture will take the turn with it. Let's do the same thing for this piece over here. 90. Put it to the side, and let's see if this is the one. Yep, this is the one. Again, 90, put it to the side. Awesome. So I'm happy with how that thing is going. Since this is not going to be wood, it's really not that important, but all around, I think this thing has been unwrapped, and we can continue on to the next phase, in which we will, well, not texture, but make the materials for this thing to be used in Unreal. So, hope you guys had fun and you learned something new. If you do have any questions, leave them below. I will meet you in the comment section of the video. And if you enjoyed this video, then please click the like button. And if you're not subscribed, now is a great time to do so. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.